Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. Blake Cousins, along with Brent, my brother, and Apollo Asteria, we're sharing incredible videos just into Third Phase of Moon. Behold the phenomenon. What are we looking at? Are we looking at some kind of Space Force program or something extraterrestrial in nature? Right now, we have no answers, but we're looking at this, and it's a sight to behold. We're getting close-ups of what looks to be some kind of triangular red craft that just blinks out of existence. Again, captured from an amateur astronomer. Did this thing just take off at an extraordinary rate of speed? Brett, what's your thoughts?
Wow, this is a big one. People are going to be questioning this for the next month. Who knows? But this could be the best ending to this year right now with this video. I'm still a little on the fence. We're looking at a good close-up right there, which looks like people are saying a triangular object that's illuminating, maybe a glow on the moon's surface. Pretty amazing if that's what we're looking at. It's good still. There's some things I really like about this, especially when we have the open shot, when we see the clouds kind of moving within the atmosphere. It almost seems like it's in the lens. Here's another representation that we shared and broke on Third Phase of Moon, that still we're looking at these illuminated red lights right there on the surface. Or is this something else? Maybe laser technology from Earth? A lot of stuff going on here.
You know, my first thoughts are, when I saw the last video, is that you can tell that these lights are sort of reflecting off the surface of the moon, but also how big the craft was, how large it was in comparison to the size and the curvature of the moon. I know there's a lot of people that have been a part of or involved in Apollo missions who have claimed that there are ancient structures on the moon, possibly in craters. So this is very interesting to me. I mean, this craft definitely looked very large in comparison to the moon. So this is very interesting footage caught by an amateur astronomer.
Again, secret Space Force or something ET in nature, or maybe some kind of laser beam action going upon the moon. We're not exactly sure. But we have Dr. J. Andy Elias. We asked him what his thoughts were. Listen to what he had to say.
Oh, these are definitely exciting times right now. Again, whenever we invented the telescope, we look at the moon and the stars and the sun. What do we see here? Another object, a red-like object that looks like a triangle, and it's above the moon. Is it going to a base, or is it coming from a base? Now, here's another question. Is it our base, or is it an ET's base? Who's watching us? Also, it looks like there's a phase next to it. Is it one triangle inverted next to another, getting a bigger energy source? Or what are the two? Why is one visible and one is very fuzzy? That's the crazy thing about it. One could be a mothership, actually, for that matter. But yes, the fact that it's red is very, very interesting. And of course, it's a perfect triangle on the left side. This is one of the greatest footage I've seen from the moon. We've seen lots of videos from the moon and the stars, and definitely the sun getting energy. But the moon, we've been rumored to have bases there since the 60s. And of course, the ETs, some people say they've been there for millennia, if not longer.
So, Dr. J, appreciate you joining us right here on Third Phase of Moon. And if you're digging this live premiere, give us a thumbs up. But right now, once again, as Dr. J just stated, we're looking at something that possibly could be extraterrestrial in nature, and it has this weird blinking out of existence. That's what's making me think that it could be some kind of maybe Project Bluebeam experiment here.
Or another question too. I look at this. There's some sort of I'm a little skeptic on some of this going on. The blinking out of it just disappearing like that kind of throws me. I'm just throwing it out there. Could this be a hoax? Maybe we might find out that there's an artist that created this. This one that we broke a couple months ago, I still, in my opinion, I think this is the real deal. Maybe there's, again, new technology from the Space Force that are shooting lasers at the moon, creating this kind of highlighted anomaly. Maybe not even a real vehicle there, but it creates this kind of illusion of something on the moon's surface.
Yeah, that's a great point, Brent, because, back during the 40s or 50s, they started testing at Area 51, the SR-71 Blackbirds. And at the time, these craft were being, they were all over the skies at the time, and people were noticing them. And they were claiming, our government was claiming that they were not real and that they were not actually there. But later, they claimed that they have been around. So it's definitely very interesting, and who knows, maybe the Space Force is testing out some things and sending them up there, and they don't want other foreign powers to know about what it is they're testing, so they can't share it on the media.
Absolutely. More videos just since the third phase of Moon, guys. Buckle up. Take a look at this crazy orb action, metallic in shape, spinning out of control, but seemingly in control at the same time. All right, we're gonna work on trying to get a closer up shot of whatever this metallic object is. But right now, it's captured quite well from the person who shot it. Broad daylight, pretty much as clear as you're gonna get, as far as you're gonna go for UFO videos. It almost seems that you could almost identify what this is if you knew exactly what this is. I'm still confused. I have no sighting of the means of propulsion on this craft here.
Yeah, I don't see these flying in my backyard. Could it be maybe some sort of new toy out there on the market, or a drone that's up there doing these really cool maneuvers? It's turning around. It reminds me of these Ryan Graves, these pilots that see these spheres and cubes within the spheres itself. Look at this thing. It looks like a cube that's dancing around and darting, doing these oscillating maneuvers. Could this just be, again, maybe a simple toy, kite? I'm not sure. I don't see any string on this. I really like the background. Kind of has this classic, majestic look to it. Makes it profound. That's why we're sharing this. It has this unique capture. And if you know what it is, just let us know.
We're bringing up the close-up footage here in just a second.
When I see this, I really notice how there's this flickering kind of light coming off of it. And I think to me, when I see this, it probably means that there's some sort of object around it, or it kind of comes out in a certain point where when it comes around and it spins around, it flickers off the sunlight. The metallic part of it flickers off the sunlight, and it causes this flickering effect. And that's what I'm noticing with this.
Guys, we're looking at this a little closer, and right now, again, I'm not seeing any prop propeller blades or any kind of wings on this thing. It just seems to be dancing up there. And from what we've heard from Bob Lazar and his statements with regards to his possible work on Area 51 technology, not from this Earth or recovered from an archaeological dig, we have this undulating situation with these craft, that they're not perfectly stable. Is this some kind of new means of propulsion that we're looking at? Let's just get a closer look on this. But again, I'm not seeing anything that indicates something that's mundane here. We're looking at something kind of extraordinary.
Yeah, these ones always kind of fascinate me. I'm thinking this is kind of maybe a mix between one of ours, or maybe something otherworldly. I'm just not sure. Maybe it's something that's been here all along too. At the same time, people have been seeing these for centuries, thousands of years. Speaking of the cube, and now we're seeing something dancing, glittering in the night. Maybe morning, or you can see that it's just about the sun's coming down, and it's kind of highlighted with really good contrast. I would like to have more of this video so we'd have the full explanation of what was going on with this, but again, this is a good one. Here's a close-up.
You know, over my time kind of observing videos here on Third Phase of Moon, I've definitely noticed that this sort of spinning top UFO phenomena is very popular. It seems to come back around a lot, and I think there's something to this, whether maybe it's some sort of nanotechnology. I don't know why, but that's something that really comes to mind for me. But it definitely seems like to me when I look at this that there's something on one side of it that is very more metallic than the other sides of it, and every time it comes back around to the sun it glints off it, and that's why it's having this sort of flickering effect.
Definitely, could this be some kind of practical drone and this flickering effect that's going on? Guys, let us know what you guys think. Again, more videos just into Third Phase Moon, something celestial.
测控站一站一站的发现了目标。右侧是我们航天。好科幻呀！
安基发现目标，黄河跟踪结束。
黄河跟踪结束，安西已经发现了目标，所以我们的测控站也是一站一站的接力。现在应该已经是在
发现目标。
Minha gente, o que é isso? Eu vou fazer pedido, não. Vou fazer pedido. Ai, tá. Meu pai. Nossa, Deus. É um foguete, bicho, olha. Isso é um foguete, né? O que é isso? Tá gravando, primeiro? Aham. Foguete da onde? Misericórdia. Minha gente, o que é isso? Eu vou fazer pedido, não. Vou fazer pedido.
Olha que coisa mais bonita.
Olha, Tony. Que lindo, velho.
Ô mãe! Olha.
Você nem vê, não.
Que bonito, rapaz. Eu ainda disse que ia ter chuva de meteoro. Meteoro, boy.
Lula! Vamos todos! Que porra é essa? É daqui, né? Isso
É
o quê?
não, é meteoro, pô.
Meteoro.
Não é?
Da igreja.
Olha que coisa mais bonita.
Olha, Tony. Que lindo, velho.
Ô mãe!
Olha,
Olha.
você nem vê, não.
Que bonito, rapaz. Eu ainda disse que ia ter chuva de meteoro. Meteoro, boy.
Multiple objects captured by the public around the world. Something is happening in our system over our planet, and things are breaking apart over and over. We're getting these videos pretty much on a weekly basis of things just breaking up in the sky. Are these UFOs coming down, or space stations that we're not aware of?
Yeah, Chinese, Russian satellites, who the hell knows? But people are really capturing something amazing. These are great videos. These feeds that are coming in straight to Third Phase of Moon. What a great capture. Again, I'd like to know what's happening right here. The phenomenon's happening. We're seeing it. Could this obviously be one of ours? People are saying we have crash and retrieval in our government. We actually have the real deal, the aliens. Is this how it would look when it happened before?
You know, one point I would like to bring up is the fact that I've heard it has been pointed out by people who have worked for NASA that there is an incredible amount of space junk up in our upper atmosphere, just kind of in the gravitational field. And from what I've heard, there's an incredible amount that's like much more than what the general population would probably believe is actually up there. And it's actually really dangerous, because if some of this would fall down at a certain point, it could crash into, a nuclear facility. Who knows? It could be dangerous. So, but this definitely looks like something that's almost like breaking apart in the atmosphere, or it could be something that's sending out a scout craft out of a much larger craft. That's also something that comes to mind for me.
Again, being in the right place at the right time when you have a camera and you're witnessing something like this is what Third Phase Moon's all about. When people are lucky enough to be in the right place and at that moment of opportune time in their life. What are we looking at? Is this, again, some kind of secret space force blown apart? Or is this something like people are indicating, an asteroid that could be breaking apart? I'm not exactly sure, but guys, we want to get your thoughts. Let's bring this one up before we get going tonight, because this one's important, and I think we need to ask you, the people, with regards to what we're looking at here, because this one has me still thinking that we're looking at something in close proximity to the moon, and if it is indeed that close, we're looking at something quite massive. This could be one of the largest crafts that have been captured by an amateur astronomer. And if NASA has any answers, we'd sure like to hear it, but I'm sure we're going to have to wait a very, very long time.
Yeah, look at the light. It just illuminated the lunar surface, apparently. What I like is, again, the atmospheric distortion that's kind of flowing in front of the lens, which kind of leads to it being legit. There's a little pan there. Again, maybe that's a operator trying to put that in post and bring that up, because that wasn't a normal camera pan. That was induced by within a computer. What we're looking at again is fascinating. I think we just need a little bit more provenance to what we're looking at. The person who shot it, and maybe could duplicate this.
Yeah, obviously this thing, whatever it is very large in comparison to the surface of the moon. But when it blinks out like that, it's like you don't see it there anymore. There's nothing, in the darkness hovering above the moon in the shadow after it blinks out. So is this thing, whatever it is, interdimensional? I mean, there's definitely something there that is reflecting a light off the surface of the moon, but you also see the light in the perspective of the other side of it, and it's also triangular. So, I mean, is this some giant mothership that goes interdimensional above the surface of the moon? I don't know.
Some things to think about, but what's been going on over the past month in these crazy encounters, again, we're going to bring up something that was breaking news right here at Third Phase of Moon, I think about 2 weeks ago, of this strange light appearing within the crater of the moon, and people are speculating that this is proof of some kind of a base on the lunar surface, or could it be some kind of just laser system projecting from Earth onto the crater itself? I'm not exactly sure, but even more footage that has been captured, and I think this one came in from one of our satellites that's orbiting our satellite known as the moon, of some strange anomalies within the crater itself here.
Yeah, I can see left to right some of these popping lights. Could it be maybe the glistening of the sun right on the right edge that's popping off some canopy? Who knows? Again, is this a proof of something on the moon's surface, a base?
One thing we have to keep in mind here is that there are other foreign nations that have their own sort of space programs going on. The Chinese, the Russians, they have their own secret missions. Even the US, they have their own secret missions where they've been sending people on missions up to the moon. And, these aren't really documented at the time, but they come out later. And if you look it up on Wikipedia, many more people have been in the moon than most people are aware of. Just look it up.
The phenomenon's real, everybody. And if you've captured it, submit it to us right here at Third Phase of Moon. My email is in the description. upload that video to YouTube, copy paste that link to my email. Everybody, thanks for joining us. Keep your eyes on the skies. Be safe. We'll see you next time.